audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Greetings from the Philippines to the world. We are on Facebook Live on Eagle News and Net25 TV and also on our streaming site eaglenewslive.com. Watch us on our YouTube channel at Net25 TV. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to Open for Business. Join me discover the latest news and information in business around the world. Stay ahead of the curve from vision to action. E-commerce for MSMEs has been accelerated due to the pandemic. One of the government agencies in the Philippines that made the digital transformation of small businesses possible is the Department of Trade and Industry. The DTI tapped the key players in the e-commerce ecosystem to help MSMEs pivot to digital. We are privileged to have today a key representative of the DTI, not only to share the updates on the e-commerce roadmap for MSMEs, but also to provide us tips in consumer welfare and protection. How should we protect our rights as consumers, especially online? We will have the answers from ASEC Jean Pacheco of the Department of Trade and Industry when Open for Business returns. Stay tuned. We will be back.
Kailangan nating talunin tong pandemic na to.
Kailangan lumaban eh. Kailangan may gawin.
I'm not going to be part of that 40% that will not survive, and that's it.
There's still a drop of life, then I'm gonna hold on to that and I'm gonna keep it alive.
Even just buying one mask na 35 pesos, it's like we dance for joy.
Nag-umpisa ka na, sana may bumili ng tinda ko, parang back to basic ako.
Doon mo ma-feel na, okay, may pag-asa pala.
For the sake of the Filipinos, we just have to give it a fight, di ba?
Pwede pang
Open for Business is back, and with me is ASEC Mary Jean T. Pacheco, DTI e-commerce lead and assistant secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry. ASEC Jean, how are you?
Hi, Cesar, and thank you for inviting the DTI to your show, Open for Business. To everyone, magandang hapon po.
We have a very exciting topic today because we just concluded the Consumer Welfare Month. But before I ask you details about consumer welfare, for the past months during the pandemic, DTI has always been there for the MSMEs, and we have seen how your department, including the Secretary, the Honorable Secretary Mon Lopez, helping MSMEs in your role with the DTI. How has, if you can give us a background on how DTI has helped MSMEs during the pandemic, ASEC Jean.
Yeah, thank you again for the opportunity. As you know, during when the enhanced community quarantine was implemented in March, soon after, the Secretary directed us to look at ways in order for the micro, small, and medium enterprise can be assisted, to shift from brick and mortar to online. So immediately after that, we developed a program, which I'm very happy to report has really gained some ground. The program is called Reboot, no? Reboot program for online enterprises. You may ask, why Reboot? It's very simple. When we were working with the private sector and looking for a name for the program, what happens when naghang yung computer mo, 'di ba, nagre-reboot ka? So that's it, no? That's what we wanted to do. There were a lot of MSMEs na nag-stop yung business because of COVID. But we said, okay, we need to explore other options. So if you are in a brick and mortar, you transfer from offline to online, but actually we're saying to expand, no, because yung online is also another avenue. So we are able to institutionalize, as I call it. But first of all, we engaged the private sector, no. That was the first thing that government did. We talked to the e-commerce ecosystem, no? The platforms, the fintech, the logistics companies, even the training institutions, all of them that were all related to the promotion of e-commerce. I cannot mention all of them, no, but lahat na doon, si Google, si Facebook, si lahat ng mga sila Zalora, Shopee, Lazada, and QuadX, marami sila. I think the last count we had was about 24, no? Even fintechs and all, Paymaya, GCash. So marami talaga that nagtulong-tulong. And for example, no, we offered, for example, no, we talked to PLDT, no, yung Globe. Yeah, sila yung mga mga telcos. If can you help our SMEs if they go online or libreng internet? We talk to the platforms, as I said, Lazada, Shopee, or give them onboarding assistance. We talk to our delivery platforms, sila QuadX, sila FedEx, sila Air21, discounted rates pag SMEs. And then, but most especially, we created another program which is called the Control Biz, no, Reboot Now. Dito naman, it's training, no, capacity building. So
yeah. So sorry, Asek, I just have to go to the first discussion when you said reboot. We have been interviewing a lot of MSMEs, and a lot of them were not ready with this pandemic. With the DTI, ASEC, I know that it has been really, there is a continuous effort to help in the digitalization of SMEs, di ba? Kahit wala pang pandemic, ang alam ko, with the DTI, you have ongoing projects and initiatives already. Pero based on the feedback that you got, ASEC, talaga bang yung MSMEs hindi ba, I don't know if you have figures, but maybe on, kahit anecdotal data on gaano ka ready or hindi ready yung MSMEs natin sa Pilipinas, kasi hindi naman so far the thing that really sparked the shift towards digital transformation is the COVID-19, hindi po ba? So my question is, gaano kayo nahirapan din ba ang DTI because of this unexpected pandemic that happened, and how are you what's your anecdotal data or any feedback on how they shift on the readiness of MSMEs in digital transformation?
Ay nako, thank you, no. I have to tell you that meron kaming ginawang study, and maybe we have not really formally launched it, no, but we did, the DTI did a study on the digitalization of SMEs. So meron na kasing ASEAN study that actually classified SMEs kung how they are digitalized. So if you were, according to the ASEAN study, kung ikaw ay meron kang email, nagma-Microsoft Word ka o kaya WhatsApp, meron kang mobile phone, basic ka. Kung naman nagbebenta ka, intermediate. At kapag ka data analytics, meron ka ng mga HR systems that are in place, gumagamit ka na ng mga servers and all that, you are already advanced. So, yun yung category. So, merong ginawang study ng ASEAN na marami yung basic. Tayo gumawa ng study similar to that because that was the first thing that we have to do. Paano ba tayo? So, ilan lang basic? So, ang basic lumalabas, 16%. Ang intermediate, 35%. Tapos 31% yung advanced. I think this study happened, unlike the ASEAN study, before COVID. Itong study na tayo after COVID, no? Or during COVID. Meaning to say, marami nang nagbebenta either through social media. So technically, intermediate na sila. But there is something that's very revealing in the study that is not in the ASEAN study. Si Philippines, nagawa tayo ng level 0. Kasi meron sa ating mga SMEs na walang email. No? So, level 0. So yun, you know how many percent? It's less than 20, that's 19%.
Oh, madami pa rin.
So those are the things that guide us na alam ng DTI na po. Hindi ka pwedeng maging online seller kung wala kang email, di ba?
So, with this study, ASEC Jean, can we say na, because, mataas yung intermediate at saka yung advanced na Pinoy. So, somehow, in terms of the readiness naman of MSMEs in the Philippines, talagang we can say that we are ready. Now, ang paglalaroan ninyo, yung level 0 nga at saka basic. So, can we say, ASEC Jean, na hindi naman kayo masyadong na-challenge in terms of addressing the needs of the MSMEs in shifting towards digitalization?
The numbers are still for improvement, as you can very well see. Ang ibig sabihin lang nito, 'di ba? The reason why we did the study is really to come up with appropriate interventions, no? Hindi pwedeng one size fits all. Dapat kung meron pa tayong level 0 ang target natin, dapat wala tayong level 0. So at the very least, dapat meron silang email, di ba? Yon. And then, yung nakikita nating basic, ang next natin in line, paano kayo maging intermediate, no? So let's expand your online experience or your online presence. So ganun ang ating initiatives, and I am pleased to tell you that really that's how we are structuring the various interventions that we have with DTI in order to digitalize our SMEs and to promote e-commerce.
Okay. Also, ASEC Jean, you mentioned about the ecosystem, the e-commerce ecosystem. Napakahalaga nito kasi lalo na nung pandemic, dito lalo na yung mga maliliit, hindi din nila alam kung paano nila ibebenta yung kanilang mga produkto kung wala yung mga ibang stakeholders. These are already big names, not only online, e-commerce, but in telecommunications. In this case po ba, ASEC Jean, paano nyo nakuha yung suporta ng ecosystem? And if you can give me, our viewers, what's the composition of the ecosystem? Kasi like for example, pag sinabi mo na, halimbawa wala kang email, pero meron ka namang social media account, na you can do e-commerce. Yun ba ay masasabi mong part ka na ng ecosystem? So, and pag sinabi mong part ka ng ecosystem, kanino kasi ngayon ang daming humihingi din ng suporta. Like say, we see a lot of partnerships with other stakeholders, the big names that you mentioned, and a lot of them also want to engage with them. So, can you give us a background of who are the major players in the ecosystem as far as e-commerce is concerned?
Yeah. Alam mo, Cesar, when the secretary, mag-ano lang ako, magkwento ako ng
Go ahead.
1 second, not 5 seconds. Nung inassign ako ni Secretary Mon Lopez mag-handle ng e-commerce, digital immigrant na tayo, aminin natin yan, di ba? So hindi tayo
Correct.
masyadong maalam dito sa mga ganitong e-commerce. But because we were tasked to develop or upgrade or update the e-commerce
Asik, ikat lang kita para maintindihan ng mga manunood natin. Ano ba yung digital immigrant? Di ba? May digital native, di ba? May explain mo lang sa kanila. What is
tayong
that?
mga digital immigrant, ngayon lang natin natutunan nung nabuhay tayo dito sa mundo, ang ginagamit natin typewriter pa, 'di ba? Ganyan tayo. Typewriter, fax, telex, 'di ba? Ganyan tayo. Yung digital native, yung palakihan ng cellphone, yung ganyan, yung iba. But yung digital native, talagang nabuhay sila na ito na, may internet na ganyan. So tayong mga digital natives digital natives. Tayong mga digital immigrants, ngayon lang tayo natututo kung paano gumamit ng lahat ng mga tools natin now, unlike those that were born 1972 yata ang mga millennials, so anyway, so there, going back to the kwento. So when I first came in and we were tasked to formulate the e-commerce roadmap, syempre, the first thing that we need to do is to establish the ecosystem. We need to find out who the players are, and what they do. So, to all our listeners and viewers, we simplified it, when we say ecosystem, actually, meron kaming we have a diagram that's really very simple. It's a circular diagram. You have here the online buyers, tayo yan, mga consumers, and then the online sellers on the other hand, right? So if you have an online buyer and then online seller, you pay. So payment. Pag nagbayad ka na, i-deliver sa'yo, logistics. So that's the very simple framework. So you have an online seller, online buyer, the payment, and then the logistics. But there's something very special about e-commerce, the platforms. So,
yan.
sa diagram
Pag
natin,
sinabi
meron
mong
tayong
platform, ano yung platform?
Yes. So itong mga platforms, sila yung nagli-link between buyers and sellers. So when we say platforms, marami yan klase, merong the digital platforms, there are different kinds, meron ngang marketplaces, yung ganyan, merong tayong payment gateways, yan. So mga platforms, so sila yung sila yung nagli-link sa atin. Meron din tayong intermediaries, like for example, Google o yung mga nag-provide ng marketing and all of that. And then another part of the ecosystem is government. So, yun. Ganun lang. Yun. That's the entire ecosystem. And when you ask me, how did we ask them, Cesar, by doing the roadmap, nakapag-invest si DTI ng relationship and engagement. So, when the pandemic came, ay talaga, I'm very, very happy kasi if you look at our logos, control biz, a bayanihan effort, talaga sir, talagang we can very well see it was not difficult at all. During the height, we really called and they said, what do you need from us? Let's all put our heads together, or discounted rates, free onboarding. The PLDT said, okay, 3 months, if you will subscribe as a new subscriber for PLDT. There were so many things that they did. But most of all, in-invite namin sila dun sa mga capacity building. Kasi 'di ba maraming mga fake news, mga tipong mahirap mag-onboard. Kunyari, punta ka sa Lazada, Shopee, mahirap dyan, mahal dyan. Ayaw yung mga SMEs. But no, they were all there and they were saying, no, libre po. Pag nag-onboard po kayo, libre. wala pong bayad, and all of those. So they were very much engaged
Now,
until
Asek, I
to date. No?
yeah, Asek, I was there when you invited us during the launching of the e-commerce.
That's right.
I think that's the plan
Yes,
for the next
that's right.
20 or 25 years. It's I think
That the launching of that was the kickoff.
yes, the
For
kickoff.
the
Now,
roadmap, yes.
now wala pang pandemic noon, Asek. So, my question is, how how forward-looking is DTI in terms of this e-commerce? Because I think based on the plan, may mga sinasabi pa kayo noon na mga timelines eh. But all of a sudden, COVID-19 happened. So, ano yung mga adjustments na ginawa ninyo to fast track? Kasi di ba, tayo wala nang magawa eh. Parang you were there and you just, maybe the plans that you were supposed to implement was for the end of the quarter, but you had to, di ba, do it all of a sudden. Di ba? May mga iba nga sa atin, Asek, di ba, we were busier during the pandemic. So, how was the timelines as far as the e-commerce roadmap? Has there been major changes? Like you were discussing about 2 projects and halos and I see that without let up, diba? I attended also the training programs because these are really very, very helpful training programs. How did you do it, and what specific topics were really discussed during those trainings?
Yes. First of all, I don't want to preempt. I have to report to everyone here today that the e-commerce roadmap has been not naman reformulated, but COVID-proofing, so to speak. So medyo, it was supposed really to be launched, no, ngayong last quarter of the year, but because of COVID, we have to go back, no, and review, no, everything that we earlier have developed in terms of strategies. I would like to say that offhand, in terms of the strategies, ang nakita natin dito, yung acceleration. You know what? In the beginning, we realized that, sige, maraming nakita natin na e-commerce is the way to go, di ba? Alam natin na yung mga sinasabi nga natin na targets for 2025, no, mga kasi sinasabi ng mga Google, no, so 25 billion, mga ganong klaseng targets, but nakita natin ngayon, and we are really waiting for the other studies to kasi alam natin mas na-accelerate because of COVID. Sabi nga I'd like to echo what the secretary said, that in fact when we were promoting e-commerce before, the pandemic accelerated people's adoption of e-commerce, 'di ba? So that means to say now everyone is now more conscious of the need to support e-commerce growth in the country. So that's one. So I'd like to point out since you mentioned what has changed. You have heard the president during the State of the Nation address. No less than the president himself recognized the importance of internet transactions. So in there, he mentioned that he was supporting Congress, no, in the bill that is pending on internet transactions to promote e-commerce and at the same time consumer protection. So nakita na natin na no less than the president himself, no, recognizes this one, no. So that's one, yung nakita natin na that there is an acceleration, and many of the government, we are all working together, no, to make sure that the plan is going to be as you said, future ready and faster, no, faster. But yun muna, I won't divulge anything yet because that has not been launched yet, and not to preempt, but we are working. And just to let you know, no, because of the pandemic, may process kasi eh. So ang nangyari ngayon, because of the pandemic, ito nga, we did the digitalization, di ba? We did the digitalization of the survey. Tapos meron pa kaming isang ginawang survey, interview ng platforms. So nakita din natin yung we took into account no, may mga they were really very positive about the growth prospects of their business.
Okay, Asek, before we go to a break, doon nung nangyari yung COVID-19 na pandemic, definitely there were a lot of, as you mentioned during your opening, a lot of MSMEs have been affected and they really closed shop yung iba. At isa ang DTI sa napaka-aktibo sa pagbibigay ng proteksyon, di ba? Sa mga negosyante, lalo na yung mga maliliit. My question now, Asek, is doon ba sa dealings ninyo with the MSMEs, was there in terms of budget, was there lalo na kapapasa lang ng budget na naman ngayon, was that ever considered to, I know that the Secretary have been pushing for bigger budget for MSMEs, di ba? But because of the pandemic and because of the e-commerce and because of COVID-19, there is more to be funded, or there are more requirements, than ever because of the digitalization. Naihabol po ba yun? Like say with the plans for next year, kakayanin ba? At if ever there are additional funds and budgets, naihabol ba yun? And what other partnerships do you have now with the private sector? Kasi parang sinasabi mo nga kanina, hindi kakayanin ng gobyerno, di ba? Ang una yung hinanapan ng tulong ay yung mga members at partners doon sa ecosystem.
Yes. So the DTI budget, no, marami talaga tayong we are very grateful to Congress, no, for the very support. Alam mo, I've been in DTI for many years, no, already as planning director, and this was I believe, no, the year where I saw the tremendous support of Congress to DTI and the budget, no. So in fact, meron ngang marami tayong legislators na nagsabi na taasan yung budget ng DTI. Talagang they had a resolution, no. So in fact, meron ngang 10 billion na naka-allocate, no, because of dito sa pandemic, no. So talagang yes, there is now we're very happy that Congress has actually really provided us with we need resources for that. Even ako, I hindi na ako hihiwalay pa, no. I can certainly talk about e-commerce na nagkaroon kami ng additional budget as well, because there is really an appreciation of the need for additional resources.
Mm-hmm. Now, Asek, before we go into a break, we are you mentioned also a while ago about consumer protection. Whether you accept it or not, Asek Jin, you are an influencer. You are very active in social media, and you have a very interesting in terms of e-commerce, in terms of your consumer protection, in terms of your online transaction. Baka maaari mong ikwento ito para matuto din yung mga ibang mga mamimili kung ano ang gagawin nila, lalo na usong-uso ang ngayon, ang online transactions. We actually even have a segment in our noontime show called The Happy Time. PM is the key, di ba? And where they just have to PM, they do online transactions. So speaking of consumer protection, because we just concluded and celebrated the Consumer Welfare Month, maybe you can talk about that, Asek Jean, when open for business returns. Stay with us. Let's watch these reminders.
masasabing ang pinakasentro sa bawat kainan ay walang iba, kundi ang cake.
The cake is the symbol of the celebration. Without the cake, the celebration cannot mean anything.
Patok sa panlasa, bata man o matanda, pangmasa o may kaya. Kaya naman sa negosyong ito, malaki ang tsansa mo na kumita.
Ang ginagawa ko noon, doon ako sa school nagbe-bake para less gastos din siya. Then yun, doon nag-start talaga yung business.
Nag-start po kami mag-bake. ECQ naman po, wala po kami ginagawa. Nag-start po kami na magnegosyo.
Kaya usaping baking naman tayo. Paggawa ng cake and pastries ang ating tututukan. Ako po, si Robin Padilla, at ito ang unlad, kaagapay sa hanap buhay.
May kaagapay sa hanap buhay.
Open for Business is back, and still with me is the e-commerce lead of the Department of Trade and Industry, Assistant Secretary, ASEC, Mary Jean Pacheco. ASEC Jean, ang usapan natin kanina, alam natin, influencer ka because a lot of people really follow you on your Facebook accounts, and isa sa mga interesting na pinost mo doon was your online transaction. Imagine the Assistant Secretary of DTI somehow experiencing something, I don't know if that is the right term, anomalous in an online transaction. Pero ang point natin dito, ASEC Jean, kaya gusto rin naming malaman ang kwento na yan is tiyak na marami ang mga consumers din because of the consumer protection, which is our key topic this afternoon. Hindi alam ang gagawin kung ano nangyari sa kanila, halimbawa yon. So, can you tell us this exciting story? Kumbaga, sa mga post mo nga, abangan ng mga susunod na kabanata. Kasi being a government official with various, with a network in terms of who you can file your complaint to, you have that access. Pero yung mga iba nating mga kababayan na wala naman masyadong access, ano ang dapat nilang gawin? But maybe first things first, ano po ba ang kwento, ASEC G?
Tsaka na-vista ko, but yes, alam nyo ho, pinag-isipan kong maigi. I thought very long and hard whether I should announce to everybody that I am a victim of online selling. Kasi after all, tinatawag ho nila akong e-commerce lead. So, alam ko na ho lahat ng mga sikreto sa dinami-dami ho ng aking mga kausap. At ilang beses na ho akong, alam ko na ho, I hear it, but despite that, ganun ho talaga. Sabi ho, we just finished, the consumer welfare seminars. And I remember, sabi ho nung isa naming speaker, yung ng scam, sila daw yung mga nagsasabi na hindi sila mabibiktima. And that's so correct. So, but anyway, I have an own version, but many people know about the salbabida version, that they thought that they will buy a big salbabida because there's a nice picture. But when the salbabida came, it was as big as a donut. Ako ganun din ho. That's exactly what happened to me. I was supposed to, I ordered what I thought would be a huge rack. Na I said, I asked two guys to help me. Standby kayo ha, because mabigat yon. Ang dumating ho, lalagyan ho ng platito ng Barbie doll. So, First of all, ito ho yung mga tips na nakita and sinabi nga ho, no? So, number one,
Sorry, Asek.
You don't buy-
yeah,
Yes.
Asek. So, in short, parang you were expecting a huge delivery. As a matter of fact, you ask somebody
Yes.
pa na abangan dahil mabigat.
Yes.
Parang dumating sa'yo,
yes.
a small one. So, ano ba yung
Small
nakita mo
one.
doon? Ano ba yung nakita mo doon, Asek? Was it the picture or the lack of the picture or wala bang nakalagay kung anong
So it
anong
was the picture,
specifications?
no? So it was really the picture with the matching video, no? With the matching video. Na ito yung rock, ganito siya, maganda siya, madali mo siyang at malaki and all that. So that was it, no? Naengganyo ako and for the price, I was, wow, this is okay and all that. And because I was careful, syempre alam ko, hindi ko siya kilala, di ba? Sabi ko, cash on delivery ang gagawin ko. Kasi wow, nag-iingat ako, di ba? So hindi ako nagbayad. So ang ginawa ko ngayon, binigay ko dun sa tatanggap. Sabi ko, I have a meeting and I will not be able to receive it. So ito na yung bayad ko, so i-receive mo. So see, that's the next tip. Pag you are expecting something, make sure you're the one who will receive it, no? Or else you tell that person. Because the person received it. So sabi ko, yung ganitong kaliit, yan na ba yung halaga niya? So anyway, wala na tayong magagawa kasi it was at the end of it my fault. So, yan yung mga tips that idea. Sabi ko talaga, now, I think you're referring to my promise and I still have that promise. I'm just collecting all of the experiences that I have. I will put them, kasi I'm really learning, no? Even as we speak, there's still a process that's ongoing, no? And I will write it all down. So, nag-complaint ako, lumapit, nagsabi na sa akin, na papalitan na daw. Pero biglang papalitan nila. Pero paano gagawin ko? Isosoli ko daw sa kanila. Paano ko isosoli? I-deliver ko daw. Siyempre, di ba, na-hassle na ako. Ako na naagrabyado. Ako pa ngayon maghahanap kung paano ko i-deliver. So, yun So, there are a lot. So, ito pong itong Consumer Welfare Month, that became ang dami po naming tips. So ang mga tips na ako mismo na dapat ginawa ko, dapat I should read the reviews. I read the reviews, but I wasn't very tawag nito, hindi ako masugid ba? Because nung tiningnan ko yung reviews, nakita ko yung mga reviews, the same tao, in the same product in others of similar. So in other words, yung nagre-review, scam din. So, na-realize ko na lang po yan nung ako ay nababad na. So that's one. No? And then number 2, of course, maganda ho sa reviews kasi pag nakita nyo na may nagre-reklamo, ba't pa? Maganda po yan sa mga platforms. No? Sa mga platforms, nakikita nyo talaga yung mga reviews. Sometimes many of us are buying through Facebook, hindi po ba? So, or sa mga social media, na ito, nakakausap nyo yung mga tao. So, ayan ho, kailangan ako, ayan ho, mga hindi ko pa na ibablog ko ho yan. May seller ho kayong nakausap. Siguraduhin nyo yung seller nyo, ay talagang sarado kayo, kumpirmado. Kasi ako ho, nagkamali. Sa tingin ko, hindi na kami tuloy. Sa tingin niya pala, tuloy kami. So, pinadeliver ho niya. Diba? So yun ho, kailangan you have to ask questions and talk to the seller. We should all be mindful, no? Pag ho masyadong, if it's too good to be true, then you know that mukha nga hong pagdudahan natin yan.
So kunyari, when you say it's too good to be true, parang ang mura-mura for that, big investment or big material, or ang ganda-ganda, pero napakaliit ng presyo. Parang ganun. Is that how what you mean?
Yes. Kunyari, too good to be true, murang-mura, no? Tapos yung pala, magbabayad ka. Ang kailangan sasabihin na, hindi pwedeng COD to, lang to, dapat cash kasi ganito. Magbayad ka, ayun, hindi na niya dineliver. Ganun po, no? So yeah, there are many other tips. So I hope that you will pwede ba ako mag-plug yung aming e-commerce site, no? This is the e-commerce at dti.gov.ph. This is our website. So we are beefing up all our resources, all our tips. And as you said, yun na nga, I hope that when my mga vlogs natin and social media posters, yan po, no, the DTI is really actually beefing up. Kasi yung mga tips po, nakakatulong ho talaga yan. So, sabi ho talaga nila na pati ho yung PNP, DOJ, DICT, at saka DTI, maging mapanuri po, yun ho yung, at saka yung sabi nga nila, para ho yung mga scams. Tingnan ho ninyo yung mga account. Kunyari, bagong setup yung account. Malalaman po ninyo, di ba? Bagong-bago yung setup ng account. Baka ho, yun, scam. Kasi usually po, pag bago yung account, bago lang niya sinet up. Tapos pag nakuha na niya yung gusto niya, tatanggalin na ho niya yung account niya. So yun,
Jin, paano naman yung, there are some people, because of course you said, you have to talk with the buyer or the seller. What if he is asking a lot of questions, that needs a lot of personal information then? Ano yung tip natin doon sa pagbibigay ng personal information?
Ay, salamat. Please, to all our viewers, no po, please do not give your personal information. Yan ho yung isa sa, lalo na po yung mga credit cards. Ang sabi ho ng PNP, marami pong cases na nabibigay po yung OTP, yung tinatawag na one-time PIN. Please do not share that with everyone. So you shouldn't really divulge any of your personal information, yung mga passwords po. Tapos sabi nga po, no, even your government ID, no, ingat din po tayo sa paggamit nung mga IDs na ito.
Kasi halimbawa, Asek Jean, lalo na kunyari pag kabebelo lang nung isang buyer natin o kaya yung client kabebelo lang niya, nasa ID niya, driver's license niya o kaya sa passport niya. So, pinicturean niya na agad yon. So, counted ba yon as really providing that information? Like say, for example, you post your ID with all the numbers there because you are very happy because you just had your hair done. Is that considered as providing personal information? Posting those photos? I remember kasi, di ba, nung uso pa ang travel, pati yung seat number nilalagay, di ba? Pati yung ticket and all that. Is that considered as a no-no in terms of providing personal information, Asek?
Ang tandaan natin, no, yung address natin, telephone number natin, birth date natin, no? Yan po ay mga personal telephone number natin. Lahat po yan ay personal information, at kung dadagdagan na ninyo nung passport number nyo, 'di ba ho, lahat pati yung inyong lisensya, you don't give that away. So never, no? Yan po yung isa nating talagang paulit-ulit nating sinasabi, don't give that to anyone. No ho, kung kayo ho ay may online seller, yun ho yung sinasabi ko nga, no, dapat sarado po, no? Sarado po yung inyong confirmation na talagang sure kayo. Nangyari po yan sa akin na akala niya ay i-deliver, pumayag ako i-deliver. So be very careful kasi immediately kung nabigay mo na yung address mo, gagamitin na niya kaagad yun. So, yun po, no? So, be very careful as to who you would give. Kasi syempre po, pag bibili kayo, at kailangan nyo naman talagang sabihin yung address nyo, no? Dahil ipapadeliver nyo. Just, kaya ho, be wary, no? Beware. At saka ito ho yung sabi ng, again, another, yung DOJ naman, mga abogado po ng gobyerno. So meron ho sa batas, daw sabi nila na buyer beware, no? So be very careful na syempre po what we don't want to happen is for you to reach that point where you have to file your complaint, no? It's too much of a hassle. Like what happened to me, we don't want that to happen, no? So the best way to protect really parang the best offense is defense, diba? Parang ganun. Baligtad ba ako? So yun ho, no, that's the best way. We should know really what we have to be very careful of para hindi tayo mabibiktima.
Another thing, Asek, kasi right now you mentioned about mentioning your birthdays and other very predictable information. Kasi I remember kapag birthday nga naman madaling matandaan, so and then they use this in terms of getting or what's the term there to
identity theft.
Yes, and then they can finally get your password. So what are the tips ba in protecting your passwords? And also, 'di ba, lalo na pag yung ibang tao naghahanap ng public Wi-Fi. Is it safe to do that when you go into a Wi-Fi and you do online transaction, or nakikita rin ng system po 'yon, Asek?
Ayan, so ito ho, no, sabi din yan ng ating mga experts, no, sila DICT, DOJ, PNP, no. So be very wary of your privacy and security. So use strong passwords. Yung iba ho tamad para madali lang. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yun po yung madadaling matandaan. At yung iba naman ho, yung birthday. Para hindi malimutan, yung birthday ho ginagamit. So, there are many ways na ngayon po to strong password. So, yun po yung ating dapat na matutunan, no? Kung paano tayo gumamit ng mga strong passwords. And ito ho yung tip. Marami po, 'di ba, minsan yung mga internet. Ito po yung payo, do not shop online while using public Wi-Fi networks. So pag nandun na kayo sa bahay or safe yung inyong network, yung doon lang po tayo. Huwag na po tayo magsha-shopping using public Wi-Fi. Ayan ho ang mga tips natin from our government resources.
Now, Asek Jean, yung iba, halimbawa na scam or may when they did this online transaction and there was something, they were victims. What is your tip in filing a complaint? Kasi yung iba baka nawawala na ng trust or kumpiyansa. Nasasabi nila, hindi naman ma-actionan yan. Walang mangyayari dyan. So, in your case, in your experience, I know, of course, you're a government official and an influencer. They may, and people respond to you. But for, what's your tip? And how would you encourage our countrymen to really make sure that they follow through their complaint and that government will also respond to the complaints? Lalo na po ngayon, baka minsan kasi, hassle pa yan, walang mangyayari dyan. But at least ngayon, say for example, for cybersecurity, di ba, may nangyayari. But in your experience, Asek, meron bang mangyayari when they complain? And how would they follow up? Kasi napag-usapan din natin sa mga nakaraan yung ease of doing business, di ba? Kaya nga may arta na kumbaga pag walang response, di ba, pwede kang magreklamo. So in terms of filing a complaint, paano naman po yon, Asek? Paano ba sila magtitiwala sa sistema ng DTI o ng ibang ahensya ng gobyerno para masundan naman at may mangyari sa mga complaints nila?
Okay. So, ganito po ang masasabi ko kasi syempre ho, taga Department of Trade and Industry. Ako, at sa mga nagtatanong po, pag ako ba ay may complaint, kanino ako pupunta? So, ang lagi ko pong sinasagot, basta meron kayong consumer complaint, kay DTI po kayo pupunta. No? So, pwede ho kayong tumawag sa 1384, tatawag lang po kayo, or sa consumercare@dti.gov.ph. It is the role of the Department of Trade to accept. No? We are because we are under the Consumer Act, the Department of Trade and Industry is responsible for protecting consumers, and that is really in line, in cooperation with other relevant government agencies. But as a matter of policy, we have a no wrong door policy in the department. So if you have a complaint of any, basta bumili ho kayo at hindi po ninyo nagustuhan, ano po, or naloko kayo or sira and all of that, you just have to protect your right. You have a right to redress. Yan po yung ano. But there is a mechanism that is in place, no? Yung pong mechanism in place natin dito, meron pong what we call a process, no? So magfa-file kayo ng complaint niyo sa DTI. Like what I did, Cesar, no, I did it, no. Even if I am from DTI, I also have to experience, and yes, I have to go through the normal process of filing a complaint. So when you file a complaint, you really need to formalize your complaint, no. But DTI is quite we understand. So if you do make a call, and then our call center takes it up, but you need to we have to document it. So email is okay. So ako nag-email po ako, no. I had to really go through that. And then we start off with the mediation, ano ho. Itong mediation kasi pag-uusapin yung dalawang, yung naagrabyado and also the seller, no. So pinag-uusap po yan ni DTI, and I can see that based on feedback that it works, no. Because really we noticed that even though sellers, it is to their best interest to protect also the business. And mas madali kayong kausap, 'di ba? You are able to satisfy your customer. That will be a returning customer. And then kapag hindi ho kayo if it didn't work out, then it's time, there's an adjudication process. This is already where parang there's an investigation, and then the DTI can rule on it, no. But there are others in the government, no, that can also that you can also file a complaint with, no. Yun lang mga cyber crimes, sila DOJ, PNP, yan ho, sa mga cyber security. Kanina po si Yusek Mangka, when we had seminar, he did say that the cybersecurity office of the DICT is also welcoming all of the complaints.
Now, ASEC, we have monitored a lot of your projects and activities at the DTI. As a matter of fact, we Open for Business has been also trying to participate in the trainings, like you had this reboot and also the control biz. Ituloy-tuloy pa po ba ito, ASEC? At ano naman yung mga nagugustuhan natin ng mga MSMEs tungkol dito? What so far is your feedback? How is this helping MSMEs? And ano yung mga hot topics na gusto nilang ulit-ulitin? Because I'm sure, with the interesting topics per day, trainings and all, there are really things that excite them. What are these topics, ASEC? And ano po ba yung plano nyo pa tungkol sa mga training programs na ito for to make sure that, sabi mo nga, mawala na yung level 0 at saka yung basic. So somehow everybody should jump to this digitalization, ASEC.
Yeah. So alam nyo, we are very happy with our control biz reboot now, that we are able to reach as many, no. Maganda dito din yung one of the good things that happened with the pandemic, that we were able to make full use of technology. So itong mga webinars natin na to, kung dati tayo sa normal natin, the DTI would organize trainings and seminars. And you know how they would be? They would be for depending sa budget, maybe for 50 people, 100 people you have to spend because there's meals, you have to pay for maybe a hotel and all of that. But because of COVID, everyone's now using different Zoom, Teams, Google Meets, and Facebook, no? So we were able to really reach so much and so many. In fact, I think I'm very happy that we're monitoring statistics on the reach for Facebook. And I think in the statistics, we're almost like magwo 1 million na ata dun sa Facebook. So having said that, we also know that there were a lot, meaning to say there were a lot of entrepreneurs who actually participated. Based on our data, parang dun lang sa Zoom, mga more than 10,000 na ang nag-attend, meaning to say ito yung Zoom. You know how it is with Zoom, it's in an environment, so they know they're there. We can see them, we know who they are and all that. So unlike sa Facebook naman, sa same Facebook talagang madami na, 'di ba? But we based on our record, we've had 4 series, 39 sessions, over close to 40 topics, and 420,000 views in Facebook, but 953,000 in terms of reach, no, in Facebook. So your question is really what are the more important ones that I'd like to say patok, right? One of the things that I see are would be very to them is yung how to set up your businesses online. Gusto nila yun.
Talagang basic talaga.
Marketing.
Yes.
Marketing is also another. A lot of because of the huge need for marketing, we decided to come up with another marketing session na puro marketing talaga, and we did that in response to the request. We also tackled topics like how to register your businesses, digital taxation, but there's something that is also patok. We decided to introduce what we call meet your enablers, because many of our SMEs that would like to do online shopping, ito yung mga gustong sumali sa platforms, 'di ba? Sa Lazada, ganyan. So marami diyan yung katulad yun. Gusto ko magkaroon ng sarili kong website. Na-realize nila na hindi mo naman pala kailangang magbayad. Pumunta ka na lang sa Google My Business, meron ka. Pumunta ka sa Union Bank, meron silang tinatawag na yung global linker, libre. You don't need to pay and have your own website, no? So we also had sessions on Facebook. So these are the things that were very much maraming nanonood, no? So yun. Tapos meron pang maganda because of the nakita na namin. Recently we had what we call a logistics edition. Kasi alam nyo naman, di ba, kung kayo ay nasa business, you also need to do and to know your supply chain and logistics, right, no? Mm-hmm. And alam nyo, based on our monitoring, talagang patok na patok yung logistics and supply chain.
Tsaka napaka-importante nga yan, Asek, kasi lalo na sa pandemic na kakaunti lang ang dapat lumabas, at ang dapat na lumabas ay those who are really accredited to really go out because of the community quarantines. Now, Asek Jean, we hope also that with all the many activities that you have, if you can, maybe sometime visit, how they got successful, so we can have a success story here in Open for Business, especially those who were able to watch your trainings. It's good, to showcase their success story for a wider audience. We're running out of time, Asek Jean, but I think I have one more important question, which is, a major government official at the DTI. How is DTI pivoting its processes and systems to address the needs of the MSMEs in the new normal? Talagang, I know that you have traveled around the world then, and even I think with e-commerce, with digitalization, you have exposed yourself not only here in the Philippines but abroad. Pero ang DTI ba, ASEC, talagang have you made sure that the processes and systems are future-proof ba, digitally ready, to say that the MSMEs are guided in the new normal? Kasi, di ba, sabi nila, ASEC, wag na nating balikan yung nakaraan dahil talagang wala na because the future is now. Your thoughts on how DTI is pivoting into the new system and new normal, ASEC Jean?
So, in the words of the secretary, automation is key. So, I have to tell, and I am very proud, no? So, while we, of course, yung e-commerce, di ba, sinasabi natin, may kapatid yan eh. Ang kapatid niya yung e-government. Right? So when you said how DTI is pivoting, I would like to assure the public and also the virtual audience out there, business registration is one of the first things that a business or an entrepreneur will undergo. If you are a sole proprietor, the first thing that you will do is to get your business name from the Department of Trade. And do you know, and I'm very proud that the test of the pudding is in the eating, so to speak. If all you need to do, I have to tell you this, that our business name registration now has really exceeded the number, has really grown the number from last year. And we believe it is because we have automated. No? So talagang end-to-end po. And when we say automated, you can apply for your business name in 8 minutes. So you don't need to go to any DTI office. If you want to have your business names registered, just log on to bnrs.dti.gov.ph. You have your business name. You have either your GCash, your PayMaya, your Land Bank, your LinkBiz portal, and you're good to go. You'll get your business name certificate downloaded or sent to you by email. So that is something that we are doing even with our other processes. You see, if you are a importer, you have your ICC that also is automated. If you are a contractor, you have your licenses renewed with the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board. That is now automated. If you are processing your sales promo permit, that is also automated. You don't need to go to these offices because they will. All you need to do is access that to our website.
Wow, wow. Now, ASEC Jean, I know that you've been very, very busy. As a matter of fact, this was scheduled a long time ago, and with the many projects that you do, now is the best time, to get your views. Ano pa po ba ang mga proyektong aasahan namin sa opisina mo, ASEC Jean, and other projects that we will look forward to?
Okay. I think the best way for me to answer that question is a very simple tagline that we have been promoting. Ito pong tagline na to si Secretary Lopez din ang nakapag-ano din po nitong isip. So you were there when we launched the project, Cesar. This is what we call yung basta e-commerce madali. Right? We are promoting e-commerce. Now, whether you are a consumer, so we want you to buy online, we have to make sure that you will trust e-commerce, na hindi kayo maluloko, secure kayo, and all of that. Kasi madali lang po yung e-commerce, mabilis, convenient. Kung kayo po ay merchant, we also, doing e-commerce is also quite easy. You don't have to have your own big warehouse and or logistics. You just have really to use your network, and you don't have to invest so much, so it's really quite easy, po. The technology is the greatest equalizer. But the DTI will have programs that we will easily remember with Madali. So what's Madali? MA, no? That's for market access. Da, which is digitalization of SMEs. And Li is logistics integration. So please do expect the DTI to come up with programs that will increase your market access, will promote digitalization of SMEs, and logistics integration. So we will have to reduce your logistics cost and make logistics more efficient. Sabi nila, hindi mo daw pwedeng tanggalin yung da sa madali kasi magiging mali. Ganun daw kahalaga. Ganun kahalaga yung digitalization efforts ng SMEs ng DTI. So we will definitely prioritize the digitalization of SMEs. So thank you for that opportunity, and makakaasa kayo that these are all programs that we will give to our kababayans.
Wow, thank you so much, Asek Jean. And before we end this interview, marami pong nanonood na mga maliliit na negosyante, SMEs ngayon. What are your what's your message to them? How can they embrace the new normal? How can they shift easily to digitalization, and how can they bounce back? Your message, Asek Jean.
So sa mga SMEs po natin na nandyan ngayon, what we always say, no, control your business, because really it is only you that can make or break your own business. And we say that reboot now. We have to start now, no? And there are many ways of improving or expanding your business. Sabi nga ho nila, ngayon daw with the digital age, we are promoting omni-channel, multi-channel. So not only do you have your brick and mortar, you need to have your website, you will be accessible by mobile, you have your internet. So yun po yung nakikita natin na it's not a question of one or the other. It's a question of all, whatever it is that you can learn, and make your customer the center of your business. No? So customer centric po. There are many tips that can be shared. We have plenty of resources. Please, you have choices. Kung kayo po ay Facebook lover, just go to our site. Facebook at DTI e-commerce. Kung kayo po naman ay nag-YouTube, punta ho kayo sa DTI YouTube channel. At kung kayo naman po ay mahilig lang tumingin sa mga websites, please do visit us. It is at ecommerce.dti.gov.ph. So we are everywhere in all of the channels. At kung gusto naman ninyo, pwede lang po kayo mag-email sa amin at ecommerce@dti.gov.ph. Madali lang ho siyang tandaan. It's all about e-commerce and DTI. And makakaasa ho kayo that we will be here to support you and to pave the way for you kung ano po yung inyong mga kailangan. Thank you, Cesar, for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much. Maraming salamat, Asek Jean. Thank you so much for your insights. It's really one of a great interview for our MSMEs, as they bounce back. And these are the things that they needed. And also, not only to MSMEs, but the consumers who wanted to really protect themselves. Especially, we just concluded the Consumer Welfare and Protection Month. Thank you so much, Asek Jean, the e-commerce lead of the Department of Trade and Industry, Assistant Secretary Mary Jean Pacheco. Open for Business will be back. Stay with us.
Bang palakpakan doon. Talaga naman pumalakpak ako. Nauto niyo ko doon.
Maganda panoorin.
Ang sarap ng feeling kasi parang binalik niyo ako sa kabataan ko.
This is Tagisan ng Galing Part 2 Dance Edition.
On behalf of Open for Business, we would like to greet the Church of Christ Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Happy birthday po. Thank you for watching Open for Business. Join us again in the next episodes of Open for Business for more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, industry experts, and SMEs promoting business development in the Philippines. See you again every Saturday and Sunday here in Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News and at Net25 TV, and you can watch this again in the video section of the Eagle News and Net25 Facebook pages and on eaglenewslive.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Net25 TV. Thank you for watching. For Open for Business, this is Cesar Vallejos. We live in interesting times. Have a great day.